Hi, I'm Rick Outzen, publisher and owner of InWeekly, the creator of Rick's Blog, and this show, Rick's Blog Live. It's our chance to bring the newsmakers to you, to cover the stories that I've written about on the blog and we've covered in the paper. And it's a different kind of show, and so far the feedback has been really positive, and we're very excited about it. This week's story is our primary guide. We go through all the races. Remember the interviews that we did with the mayoral candidates? Well, I put that into a story to look at, but it also covers, all the different races, what you need to look for, where you can go to get more information about the candidates. And we're also going to have Supervisor of Elections Robert Bender on, because on Saturday, August 8th, early voting begins. And there have already been a few wrinkles some concerns that they've had about the ballot, and Robert will go over those with us. The biggest story of the week that we open with is the sale of One Energy Place, the headquarters of Florida Power and Light, originally Gulf Power. It is the sale of the year, maybe the sale of the decade, even the sale of the century. We're going to have Michael Caro, the man who put this deal together. He'll go through all that with us. I'm very excited about that interview, and we've got it as an exclusive. So this is something that you'll want to bring some friends over to watch. The other thing we're going to have is Superintendent Keith Leonard. School is starting next week. Our school district is an A school district. We'll have Keith on and go through what the challenges are going into the school year, as well as what was the difference maker or difference makers in making the school district an A school. Then we're going to talk about data centers. That has been the buzzword of the summer, the buzz issue of the summer. We're going to have Pepper Weimer on. She is part of Gulf Coast No Data Centers. They've got two big ordinances coming up. On August 6th, the Scabry County Board of Commissioners, they're going to meet on their ordinance. I'm sure Pepper will speak at that. And then next week, on August 13th, they have an ordinance coming before the Pensacola City Council. So we'll talk to Pepper, her concerns, how she got organized, what she plans to do for both these meetings. I think it'll, again, another topic that's hot that you'll hear about here. The thing that today, the big story, is the mayor has released the juvenile curfew ordinance. This is coming out of the July 4th weekend shooting, and he made it very clear at his press conference today, the mayor said, is that this isn't because of the shooting, because the shooting involved 20-year-olds and older. This is about what happened before the shooting, when they had so many, in essence, maybe a teen takeover of downtown, and so many kids staying way late in downtown Pensacola after the fireworks show. The curfew is pretty simple. It's for minors, those younger than 18. It's going to be Monday through Thursday from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning. Then on the weekends and on legal holidays, it'll be 12:01 at night to 6 a.m. in the morning. There's some exemptions there if a teen is going to work, or if they're married, or they're going to a school event. There are a lot of things that will preclude them from having to worry about being arrested. That all makes sense. The fine system is interesting. It's tiered, where in the beginning there's no fine, there's a warning to the child and to the parent. Second, it's going to be $100 fine for the kid, $250 for the parent. Third fine or more is $250 and $500 for the parent. When this gets started, they have to have 2 votes of the county, the Pensacola City Council. It could start as early as mid-September, but the mayor said it might be as late as the early part of October, waiting for the Pensacola Police to figure out how they can implement it. So there's a lot on this on the blog, ricksblog.biz. You can check it out there. The other media will pick it up eventually, but go there first so you'll be the one to know what's going on. All right, we're going to go ahead. When we come back, we'll have Michael Caro. We'll be talking about One Energy Place, that sale. Superintendent Keith Leonard will be after that. Then we'll have Supervisor of Elections Robert Bender, and then Pepper Weimer on No Data Centers. It's going to be a show you're going to want to watch. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back. welcome back. We're Rick's Blog Live. I'm Rick Outzen. I've got with me Michael Caro, the broker of the deal of the year, or even bigger than that, One Energy Place. It's the home of Florida Power and Light, the original Gulf Power building. It is an icon on Pensacola Bay for, since in the mid-1980s. Michael, tell us about this deal.
Well, you know, it's been 7 years in the making when FPL, formerly Gulf Power, so I had a relationship with Gulf Power that then transcended into Florida Power and Light. And so when they took over, they had reached out annually for me to kind of evaluate the building, you know, look at it and help them with what do I think the market value is for this asset. And these are things that I do for a lot of clients at no charge. And so over the years, I've been doing this. So finally, they decided they were going to get serious and likely put it on the market. And so when you're dealing with such a large company, it's never exact. It's never, I'm going to do this. This is going to happen. Right. It's kind of like we're thinking about it.
Right.
And so they thought about it for a period of time. And then I did a lot of work for them. And then they said, hey, listen, we're going to open it up to all the brokerage community to bid on this. And I was like, well, I thought I was,
right,
you know.
Right.
So, but that's fair, and that's the right call. And so we had, you know, it was a good, robust conversation and valuations and stuff. And ultimately, I was awarded, SVN was awarded the listing. Of which we still had to keep it confidential because they weren't ready to go live.
Right.
So I got the listing agreement.
That's probably one of the biggest rumors in town, had been going on for a while, that it was about to go for sale. I didn't know that you had it.
Well, I don't talk about anything.
I know, so it was a lot of calling people. Yeah, I think it's going to happen. You know, who's got the listing? I don't know. So Florida Power and Light was very tight-lipped.
Right, and listen, in real estate, you don't talk about your deals.
Right.
I mean, you can talk about them now when they're closed, but really, you just don't talk about them because anything can happen. They certainly could have pulled it, but more importantly, when the client wants it to be highly confidential, you don't say a word.
Right,
I mean, even those in my office don't even know about it. And my wife is the funniest thing is she's always the last person to know, even when things happen, because I just don't talk about it, you know. And so finally we get the green light to go live. Certainly weren't allowed to do a lot of the normal listing activities, right? They really wanted it to be phone call, relationship related, but I could still reach out to corporations and so, just like you would normally do, I identified what I thought would be a top 10 list of likely investors locally, likely investors in other cities, likely corporations. And so I proceeded to do that. But what I think is fascinating is my very first phone call was the ultimate buyer.
Wow.
The very first phone call was the ultimate buyer. Now, the wonderful thing is we had a lot of competing offers. Mm-hmm. And so that was something that kind of took us back. I mean, the offers were robust. They were solid. We went out in a range. So the asking price was $42 to $46 million. Now this asset is a 250,000 square foot office building,
right.
5 stories, and it sits on 13.38 acres. It is prime waterfront property in our downtown Pensacola area. There is nothing like this.
Right.
Of all the listings I've ever had in my life, this was the one I wanted. Not because of the money and the commissions, although that was good.
Right.
But really because it was such a special asset for the community, and it has been so long, and the potential for this asset I thought was really, really great. And as somebody who does a lot of work in downtown, I live downtown, I invest in downtown, that this was important to me personally, that I was hopeful that we had the right buyer. And ultimately, it's going to remain in local hands. We are converting it from a corporate headquarters, a single tenant, one tenant building, to a multi-tenant office building. We entertained several different options with the buying group of, do we do a hotel on one floor, condos on another, and so we entertained a lot of different things, but ultimately we landed on just keeping it a multi-tenant office building. and we closed on this asset on Friday. So it's really fresh, and so.
And you got your signs up on Saturday.
well, I will say this. So
that's what got my attention.
The signs went up Friday.
Friday, okay, all right.
So, but what happened? So the seller would not let me put signs on the property, even after the buyer's due diligence expired, meaning huge amounts of money became non-refundable. The buyer's like, Mike, we want you to put signs up.
Right.
And I was like, I know, but I don't work for you in this capacity. I have to wait for the seller to give authorization, and they're like, no, not until it sells. And I said, not until it closes.
Right.
And so, and they, I mean, the buyers were asking me daily, and I said, well, I can't do it. So certainly when we closed, and last week was a nice week. The buyers signed on Wednesday. The documents were overnighted to Juneau, Florida, where FPL is headquarters. Right. They signed on Thursday, so it was all done, and then it funded the next morning. I got a call from my client, my seller, at 7:21 Friday morning. We're official. And so I called the sign guy and said, now. They were ordered for Saturday, but I said, nope, go today.
Oh, that's great.
And so we got them up on Friday afternoon. And now.
So what can you tell us about the buyer, and can you tell us what the purchase price was?
I can tell you the purchase price because it's a public number, okay? So the purchase price was $41 million, okay? It included all the FF&E, and there is a significant amount of furniture, fixtures, and equipment in that asset. It's kind of an unbelievable amount. We heard from one of the from somebody that the furniture package was $11 million. Now, of course, that's been depreciated down, so it's not like you could sell it today for 11.
But it's in pretty good shape. I've walked through the building before.
And you bring that up. So this building, it was built in 1986, but it has the effective age of being less than 5 years old. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's unbelievable how well they took care of this asset. New roof, 3 years old. 2 new air conditioning. They're really not air conditioning systems. They're towers that are less than 3 or 4 years old. I mean, the systems in this building are unbelievable.
Right.
It's crazy. And so, but when the buyers were moving forward, one of the challenges in office space is because all of these large cities that we see across the country have had a huge negative impact on office space, financing doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. So this asset was being delivered vacant. Imagine a 250,000 square foot empty office building and trying to get financing on it. I'm going to tell you what, the positive about Pensacola is our vacancy in office space downtown is only 4%.
Right.
So it's good in our market, but banks don't just work in our market. They look at national.
Right.
And so we had a lot of banks look at this and said, I'm sorry, even if we wanted to, we couldn't. We will not finance office buildings like this. So that was the first big hurdle that the buyers ultimately overcame. But part of the negotiation was FP&L said they're going to stay on the 4th floor, so they're going to maintain a presence.
So that was a question I had too. They're sort of an anchor for you then.
They are absolutely an anchor, and they're such a good partner. But more importantly,
they'll pay their light bill.
Right. But more importantly, they have this tribal knowledge of the building that if they were to have vacated, hey, where is this? Where is that? I mean, think about a small building. It still has complexities, right? The building you're in, it's not nearly as large, but if you owned it and left, I mean, trying to get that knowledge is really difficult. So the tribal knowledge that will remain in the building is so valuable to the buyers. But then I hit the ground running to try to lease the building. And I'm going to tell you, as long as I've been in this business, I'm completely surprised at the response. It has been overwhelming, and it's been kind of on the down low. Now we are fortunate to have a great commercial real estate brokerage community in Pensacola. I mean, our competitors, obviously we're with SV and Southland, but NAI Pensacola, Sterling Properties, Neal & Company. I mean, these great companies that we get to work side by side with, those are my partners in filling up this building.
Right, I know. You know, out at the press release, you had a lot of spaces already taken care of. We're running close on time, but and we'll have to do a sequel. But I think, what can you tell us? You know, you've said the buyers are local from here in Mobile.
That's right, that's right. So,
you got about 2 minutes.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you that the buyer out of Mobile owns a lot of significant real estate assets. And the reason why that's important is because even if you have the money, doesn't mean you can buy this asset. Right. You need to have the ability and knowledge. So he has a construction company, a property management company, and a real estate company. So he has all of the things and the knowledge, more importantly, that he can invest into this building. Just the due diligence on an asset like this is hundreds of thousands of dollars and a heck of a lot of man hours.
Right.
So even if you have a lot of money, doesn't mean you should take down this type of asset without that type of experience in your back pocket.
Yeah, and I think that gives you a huge advantage in doing this, Mike. So right now when will people start moving in?
We had our first tenant move in Monday.
Now, is that Florida Power and Light?
No,
so
they were already there.
They were already there, right.
So our first tenant moved in on Monday. They moved into about 11,000 square feet. We have another tenant moving in. Now, these are signed leases. So at closing, I had 127,000 square feet leased.
Wow.
I have 123,000 square feet left. Now, let me tell you, because I'm trading a lot of paper right now, doesn't mean any of these deals will happen. But if I signed a lease on all the paper I'm trading, I've oversold the building by probably 30,000 square feet. I'm negotiating about 150,000 more square feet, but I only have 123,000 to lease up. Now listen, not every deal is going to cross the finish line, but I will not be surprised at this point, I would have been before, if we're not 100% full in the next 3 to 6 months.
Wow. Well, Michael, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And thank you for sharing this with us. And be able to have this on the show. We're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll pay a few of our bills, and we'll be right back.
I learned during my military service to train every day to fight and fight to win. If you've been injured in an accident, you already know one thing for sure. The insurance companies are going to fight you for every dollar you deserve. At Michelson Booth, we settle most of the cases we handle. But if the insurance companies choose to fight, well, we're okay with that too. If you've been injured in an accident, choose a law firm that's got the resources, training, and stomach for the fight. Michelson Booth. Don't be a victim twice.
It's baseball season. From heart-stopping plays to legendary victories, this is baseball at its finest. Grab your seat, bring your energy, and witness greatness live. Don't just watch it, feel it. The Pensacola Blue Wahoos are back, and you can watch Pensacola Blue Wahoos home games live on Fridays and Saturdays, only on Blab TV. Love the Blue Wahoos but can't watch? Get your tickets now.
My name is Bill Sadler. I'm the general manager with Empire Truck Sales here in Pensacola, Florida. I've been advertising with Blab TV for well over 20 years. Blab TV has been a huge success for the growth and success in our company. Blab reaches the local community. It's an advertising venue that really reaches our target audience and customers. It's not a week that goes by that we don't see somebody out in the community that says, hey, I saw your show on Blab TV, it was great. My name is Bill Sadler and I am Blab TV.
Gilmarine, your one-stop shop for all your boating needs. We offer a vast selection of parts, accessories, and electronics. Discover our range of used boats in every size, shape, and brand, all ready to get you on the water today. And we provide expert advice and top-notch customer service to ensure you have the best boating experience. We service all outboard, inboards, stern drives, jet drives, and personal watercraft. Our certified staff will get you back on the water. Visit Gilmarine at 3541 West Fairfield Drive, Pensacola.
Hey folks, Winston Lindsay here with Living Southern Homes in Bruton, Alabama. We just want to remind you our new show will be coming on at 5:30 on Mondays on Blab TV and also Thursday at noon. Don't miss these opportunities. We will see you then.
Hi, I'm Rick Alson, and this is Rick's Blog Live. School is starting again. It's an exciting time. I've got two grandkids. They are the youngest, the one we call the terrorist. Brooks is starting pre-K. Gregory is going to be in 5th grade. And their mom is teaching in middle school, so it's an exciting time all the way around. We've got with the superintendent of schools for Escambia County, Keith Leonard. Keith, thank you for joining us.
Glad to be here.
I want to read something to you, and I know this is always scary. Any interview is scary,
Yeah.
but we talked to Don Gates, and Don Gates had a great quote about you. He said, "Improvement is not attributable to one person, but a school system, and a school can't improve unless there's leadership that demands, supports, and rewards performance." Superintendent Leonard is that kind of leader. He's placing a premium on performance as opposed to looking for excuses. We have a superintendent who understands there's significant challenges in improving school, but I believe he's more interested in doing better than in trying to explain away poor performance.
Man.
That's pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Cates.
Well, and he understands it. He's
Yes,
been
he
a
does.
superintendent.
Yes, he does.
And I think we had an amazing performance year.
Yes.
And with being our first time to get an A, saw a lot of schools perform. There's a different, there's such a positive feeling. I mean, there are a lot of challenges, and we've talked about them, from the vouchers to, trying to, attendance to, keeping good teachers. There are tons of challenges, but what made this last year special?
Well, I tell you one thing, it was a lot of hard work by a lot of really, really good people.
Right.
Our students were focused. They showed up every day ready to learn. We have some incredible teachers that put students first. Of course, that's what you've got to be able to do. And it wasn't just about academics. It was each and every day where they built relationships. Their students knew they could trust them. They knew they were going to be there for them. And then with the community support that has just been poured into our school district is second to none. Our community cares. We may get mad at one another and bicker and fight about what's going on, but when it's time to pull together, this community does it better than anybody I've ever seen. We don't worry about those obstacles. We don't worry about those challenges. What we're concerned with is what's in front of us every day and doing the best that we can. I, as their leader, I try to stay focused in that. If there's anything bad that has to be dealt with, what I tell them, put that on me. You do your work, you teach the kids, you be the principal at the school, you be the assistant superintendent of operations, you make certain everything's going the way it needs to go, and if there's problems or there's issues, that's my responsibility. I think that's what we should do as leaders, and I try to do that. But those statements by Senator Gates are very humble. They make me feel very humble about how he feels
people
about
recognize
me.
it.
Yeah,
people recognize it.
Yeah, thank you,
and I
sir.
think that the challenges are immense. I mean, it is public schools are under more scrutiny than any other. Parents have a lot of options, but no one's under scrutiny like the public school system is.
I would agree with you.
And I think one thing that y'all have done, Keith, that I've been impressed with, and you and I've talked several times, is you really track the numbers. You're looking at performance. You're looking. You have gotten. I've called them pockets of poverty. You've
Corridors of concern.
Right. Yeah. You have a much
lingo.
more positive way of looking at it. But you're tracking it and seeing it, and see when the kids that are have more housing challenges and move from school to school or neighborhood to neighborhood. There are a lot of challenges, and y'all have set up a system now that I think does probably as good a job as anybody at tracking what's going on with each kid.
Yeah, thank you. We've been doing that all throughout the summer. We've been looking at, from a leadership team standpoint, where each kid at each school where they performed well, where they have their deficiencies. I know you're going to get aggravated at me when I go back and tell you this, but I really take it back to when I was teaching and coaching when I was in school. I did the same thing. Our team's doing the same thing now. That's what you do. You watch the video to see where you can get better. Well, we're doing that with data, student data. We have a data scientist, but we spent all summer, and then during preschool, we had our administrators conference 2 weeks ago. We talked about each student at each school. And now those principals are communicating with their teachers. Mm-hmm. Now those teachers, they'll actually meet their students either the end of this week or the beginning of next week, and they'll go right into working with them on where they were when they finished the year, which really makes sense. That's what we're supposed to be doing, getting them where they need to be, which is proficient, whether it be in English or whether it be in writing or whether it be in math. But it's to each individual student, because we've got to make a difference with each individual student.
Well, and you know, people may not realize is that you have the same curriculum at every school. So a child at AK Suter in Montclair has the same curriculum.
Right.
You know, so the quality of education is very good at both.
Yeah. Add on to that, the other thing that we've done and really focus on it is not just is it the same curriculum, because we have a lot of mobility. A student may be at Weiss one week and then be at Global next week.
That's, people don't realize that, but that is one of the
so
challenges.
What we do is we also create they're called pacing guides. So your daughter teaches social studies, right? So if she's in teaching world history and a kid moves in and she's on Hammurabi's Law Code, well, if that kid was at another school in that particular district and came to her class, they should be very, very close to being on Hammurabi's Law Code.
Right.
We do that all throughout each and every of our 52 schools.
Wow. A
pacing guide to make certain that a student's not going to get left behind or be so far ahead that they can't either catch up or they end up being bored and don't focus in class. Right. Yeah.
Now, one thing that y'all have tried, and I'd like to get a little more background on it, is some of the elementary schools you've added middle school classes.
Yes, sir.
The goal is to make it go all the way through 8th grade. How's that working so far?
At West Pensacola, Cordova Park, and Longleaf last year, we had 6th grade. And West Pensacola and Cordova Park, that was actually their second year to have 6th grade in elementary school. We're seeing that those 6th graders at the elementary schools are outperforming the 6th graders at middle schools.
Okay.
Longleaf this year, we're also adding 7th grade. Longleaf will be our first K-8 model beginning in 27-28. And to say that those 6th graders at those elementary schools outperform the other 6th graders is really a pretty big statement, because our middle schools had the #1 middle school acceleration 2 years ago in the state. This year they were #3, and we ended up with 5 A's in our middle schools, which I don't know if anybody's ever been able to say that before.
No. And that's always been a challenge. The middle schools have been a challenge for 20 years now.
Yes.
Yeah. And
it's what I'm calling it now is not a challenge. I'm calling it's an opportunity where our community can see we have made a difference. When you say there's 5 out of the 8 middle schools that have an A, that's pretty significant when you think about where they were.
Right. Definitely is. What can we expect this year?
Well, here's what I want you to expect for the first 3 or 4 days of school. We're going to come back on August 12th. There's going to be a lot of school buses on the road. Slow down, be patient. Whether you're in a car rider line or you got your kid riding that bus, those first couple of days, let's be patient. But here's what I can tell you can expect. You can expect us to keep putting our best foot forward every day. The state has raised the game a little bit. This grading scale has moved up, and we're okay with that. We're ready to step up and do that. What I will tell you, I won't try to procrastinate or tell you that we're going to have 19 A's like we had this past year, but we had 83% of our schools either perform at the same level or better. Our goal is to be about 86.8%, because if we do that, we'll remain an A. Mm-hmm. But we'll have to wait and see. The proof's in the pudding, as they say.
Well, it's numbers are a strange thing.
Yes,
you can live or die by the numbers. I talk to Sheriff Chip Simmons a lot of times, and Chief Winstrom with the city. It's a difficult. The numbers can change, and but what you want to see are the trends, and the
Yes, sir.
trends have been
We
unbelievable.
want that trajectory to keep going up.
It is. What are you projecting on it? Enrollment.
So I checked it this morning. We were at 31,572, which is about what we had projected to have. We just hope that holds firm. As you know, last year we were projected to only lose like 380 students, and we lost 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
I read an article today where Broward County has 50,000 empty seats.
Right.
You know, the public school is something that's near and dear to my heart. I know how you feel about it.
Right.
We appreciate your support. We need every student to be there on day one, and we need every student to be there on day 178. We're going to give your students everything we can every day. So just trust the Escambia County Public School System to do the best we can.
Well, I think the proof's in the pudding. I
Yes,
think
sir.
it's been happening that way. It is. It'll be exciting to see the year go on. And one thing I truly appreciate is the transparency and the communications that we have. And I really appreciate it. And if anything comes up, I'll call you, and you can always call me. Kid.
Thank you very much, sir.
I really appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir.
We're going to take a break. We'll pay a few bills, and we'll be right back. We're going to have Supervisor of Elections Robert Bender. Early voting starts August 8th. There's some things to look out for when you go to the poll.
Well, I think it's all about local, and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference, and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
Take a breath and step into something green. At Pensacola Seed and Garden, both of our locations are open 7 days a week, ready when you are. We don't just sell plants, we grow many of them right here with care you can see. And once you take one home, you'll find everything you need to help it thrive. Visiting from out of town? Discover unique exotic plants you can bring home, often for less than ordering online. Pensacola Seed and Garden. Grow something beautiful.
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon.
Nestled in the heart of Pensacola, Dorothy's is a one-of-a-kind, community-driven cocktail bar by Oasis, Florida, created to sustain vital HIV and STI care across the Florida Panhandle. Inspired by the Wizard of Oz, rooted in inclusion, and dripping with character, Dorothy's is a welcoming space with award-winning Oz-inspired cocktails, food by Steel Pony Diner, and an unmatched atmosphere. Join us 7 days a week in downtown Pensacola, located directly across from Maritime Park and the Blue Wahoo Stadium.
Hi, I'm Rick Alson. This is Rick's Blog Live. Thank you for watching. Listen, if you like this and you're watching this on one of our YouTube channels, like and subscribe. That helps us get more hits, and the more hits we get, the more we can do these type of shows. So please do that. We've got with the Supervisor of Elections, Robert Bender. It is early voting, August 8th. What can people expect when they go to vote?
So one, I want voters to realize they shouldn't expect anything different than maybe an experience they've had in the last few years. You know, we're hearing a lot of talk nationally about what's going to happen at an election site or something like that. So one is that voters don't need to bring their passport or their birth certificate if they're worried about that. Everyone's citizenship status has already been verified in Escambia County. But you can use that passport as your photo ID to be able to vote. So really just come in, know who you want to vote for. We send out sample ballots so you can bring that in with you and have those races already marked and just copy the answers and get in and out as quickly as you can.
You know, one of the rules that you do need to understand is you can't take a picture. inside the voting area, right?
They do allow ballot selfies now, but,
they do?
yes,
okay.
you know, but yes, it's just don't take a picture.
Don't take a picture. Okay.
Yeah, especially those first timers that always want to take a picture. We always have them just step outside the door and we'll take a picture with you out there. But yeah, it is. But they do allow ballot selfies now, and yes.
Oh, okay. So it's a different world.
Different world.
Make it to Instagram. All right. The other thing is there are 10 spots to vote.
10 early vote sites, yes. Same 10 that we've had in some previous elections. So, of course, the Supervisor of Elections office is always one. We do the main library downtown. Asbury Place over off of 9th Avenue is a big one in that Cordova Park, 9th Avenue area. The Southwest Library for the Perdido area and Blue Angel. The Bellevue Library was one that we went to once the Bellevue Library opened. Brownsville Community Center, and then UWF, all in the Pensacola area. We have the extension services up in Cantonment, and then Century is at the courthouse, and then the Molino Community Center in Molino. So those 10 open 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. every day, so from August 8th to August 15th, even on Sunday.
And you can vote at any one of those. So if you work downtown, you don't have to go to the one that's closest to where you live. You can go to your office downtown, or if you're up at UWF as a student, you can vote there. So that's the beauty of it. Now there is a wrinkle that's been happening, an unexpected consequence, and when people look at the ballot and they see governor/lieutenant governor, tell us what's going on and what y'all are doing to try to help people.
And so really it's supervisors across the state of Florida that are getting this out, is that the title of the race is governor and lieutenant governor, and none of the governor candidates had already picked their lieutenant governor. So there's only one name under each governor candidate. And so people are thinking they have to vote for a governor and a lieutenant governor, and so they're overvoting the contest. So only vote for one, and then whoever wins the nomination will end up picking a running mate if they haven't done so already. They were not picked at the time of printing. On the Democratic side, David Jolly did have a lieutenant governor selected. So we're getting calls that she doesn't have an oval next to her name.
Right.
And so the name is immediately under David's, and then offset a little bit to indicate that that's his running mate. And so it shouldn't be as much of a problem in early voting in Election Day, because if you were to do that, when you put the ballot in to be tabulated, it would indicate that there's an overvote, and you'll be given the opportunity to get a new ballot and correct that.
Oh, okay.
So it's really more for vote by mail that we're going to probably see an issue with that. But of course, we don't want you to have to spend more time in the polling place and getting a new ballot. So knowing that vote for one does not mean vote for a lieutenant governor and a governor. It means just vote for the governor that you want to have the party.
So let's talk a little bit about the vote by mail, because it's a little bit different. The technology that y'all have added to the Supervisor of Elections office, you can track the vote by mail ballots that have been sent out. In the past, if someone changed their mind and said, well, I'd rather vote in person, they had to bring that vote by mail ballot and surrender it to y'all.
Right.
So how does that happen? That's no longer needed, is it?
It is not required. They're welcome to do it. So one, all of our early vote sites have secure ballot intake stations that are open during the same hours. So if you have your vote by mail, you want to make sure it gets delivered to us, you can just go drop it in that secure ballot intake station. Those get brought to the office every night. If you decide that you want to go ahead and vote the vote by mail, vote in person at the early vote site, you can give them the ballot. They'll ask you to rip it, or they'll rip it. They'll put it in an envelope. They'll seal it. It never gets opened, and then they'll give you a new ballot, and you can go vote that and have it tabulated right then.
But if you don't, you don't have to bring an unfilled out vote by mail ballot.
Correct. So we've done some other security enhancements on that. One, we have a V on each one of those ballots. And what that does is it prevents that ballot from being tabulated at an early vote site. So even if someone did go in and get another ballot and they tried to put both of them in the tabulator, one, that's why we have our election worker standing right there. But two, the software won't accept that ballot because there's something in the official use box type thing. And so we have V's there, so that prevents them from being able to vote those in person And so, yeah, I mean, so it's not required. Also, when we receive a vote by mail, we always make sure that that person has requested a vote by mail ballot in order to count it, and then we indicate that they voted on their record, and so it prevents somebody from being able to vote twice.
So in Weekly this week, we have got, this is our primary guide. We've got all the different links at the Supervisor of Elections office that you can go to track your ballot, to find what precinct you get to vote in, to get a copy. If you haven't seen your ballot, you can get a look to see what races are in your district. I think the most important thing is for everyone to know is that there are races to vote for on every ballot. I mean, every ballot in Escambia County is going to have the referendum about the superintendent of schools, whether that'll be appointed or elected. Every mayoral candidate, every city voter, regardless of party, will vote on the mayor's race.
And then districts 1, 2, and 3 for school board. So again, regardless of party, those are nonpartisan races. They have 2 candidates in each race. So your next school board member for districts 1, 2, and 3 will be decided in the August 18th election.
So and there are sites that you can go to find out more information about the candidates. The League of Women Voters does a great job. The Chamber did a survey of that some of the candidates filled out. I think it was the mayor's race and the county commission races. You've got the videos of who we've interviewed in the mayor's race, but there are a lot of great resources to go out there. And we've also put in this guide their web address. Now that's going to be slanted definitely for the candidates themselves, but you can look at each candidate's website and learn about what their stances are and how they're presenting themselves to the public. So you have a lot of opportunities to be informed about who you're voting for. Your goal is to improve the voter turnout.
It is. We don't want 75% to stay at home again like they did in 2024. Hopefully there's a few more things on the ballot that drive turnout, but we're definitely trying to get turnout up. Would love to get back to 30% where we'd been previously, but really even 35% or higher we would love to see. So that's all I ask. People go out and vote for the August 18th election.
Robert's website is escambiavotes.gov. You can go to nweekly.net and check out our primary guide. Please vote. You've got ample opportunity to do it. You can go ahead and hit. Early voting will start on Saturday. Take advantage of it, or go to the polls the day of. This is where we decide the future of our community at the polls. Robert, thank you so much.
I will say we are open Sunday. Sunday's usually a slow day, so if you want to get it out of the way without a long wait, come see the election workers on Sunday.
All right, we'll do it. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
At A1 Automotive, we do it all kinds of repairs for all kinds of vehicles. We do AC repairs, we do suspensions, we do pre-purchase inspections. We'll diagnose your problem and get it fixed. Free brake inspection. We can provide financing for any work we do. Veteran-owned, military, and first responders discounts. A1 Automotive, 403 Beverly Parkway, Pensacola.
I'm Emily Echeverria. I'm the Marketing Communications Director for Council on Aging of West Florida and the host of Coming of Age. In the past, Council on Aging has relied heavily on print and radio, but in the age of social media algorithms and smart devices, we know how highly prioritized and sought after video content has become. Our audience really responds to video content, and yours will too, especially the high quality of video that Blab produces. I'm Emily Echeverria, and I am Blab TV.
Many who consider facial plastic surgery are concerned their results will look unnatural. But with over 20 years of serving the Pensacola community, his thousands of satisfied patients have made Dr. Derek Jones a trusted reconstructive and facial plastic surgeon known for industry-leading results that look natural. Call 850-484-FACE to schedule a consultation at one of our locations in Pensacola and Gulf Breeze.
I'm Dr. Derek Jones. Trust your face to a facial plastic surgeon.
Take a breath and step into something green. At Pensacola Seed and Garden, both of our locations are open 7 days a week, ready when you are. We don't just sell plants, we grow many of them right here with care you can see. And once you take one home, you'll find everything you need to help it thrive. Visiting from out of town? Discover unique exotic plants you can bring home, often for less than ordering online. Pensacola Seed and Garden. Grow something beautiful.
Welcome back. I'm Rick Alton. This is Rick's Blog Live. The big story this summer, the thing that has probably been one of the hottest news topics, has been data centers. We have had strong opposition against data centers in our community. We have ordinance before the Escambia County Commission on August 6th. We've got another one going before the Pensacola City Council a week later on August 13th. One of the spokespersons for the No Data Centers has been Pepper Weimer, and thank you so much for coming on the show, Pepper. I've watched you at the forums. I think I attended one PEDC meeting where you were there too.
I saw that.
Yeah, I blended in with the suits.
Yeah, you did. I didn't know it was you, but I saw the camera.
But let's talk about why you got involved in this.
So, well, I started with flock cameras, and coincidentally they go together. So I've been going to the city asking them to take the flock cameras down, and when I heard about the data centers, the thing for me was that they're not built, the deal wasn't done, so it was important to jump on it before they were installed, unlike the flock cameras. I heard about the flock cameras after they
were already out, right?
Yeah. So yes.
So what are the concerns that you have about data centers?
The concerns with data centers are they not only do they suck your resources dry, and of course they're bad for the environment, but a lot of times the bills will get passed on to the consumer. So they're using large amounts of power, and then the people in the community that they're getting their water destroyed, their water resources destroyed, are also paying for the electric bill for the data centers, and that is just absolutely unacceptable.
You know, when you look at this issue, I don't think I've seen anything in quite some time that has gotten such bipartisan support against data centers. Your organization, Brandy Johnson, has done it a lot. A lot of people have stepped forward, and at a county commission meeting, the public forum is, they almost have to set aside an hour for all the different speakers. Mm-hmm. And how's it been to work with other people on such an issue like this?
It's been very inspirational because I lean on the left, and so I've just been connecting with everybody in the community in a way that I've never been able to. And the cliche, everybody wants the same thing, and we all, at the end of the day, we all care about the same things. It's just been shown to me in such a new, strong light with this fight because, it's socialists, Democrats, Republicans, libertarians, anything you can think of, radicals. We all don't want data centers. We all don't want flock either. And so it's been very inspirational and humbling, and it's been just quite a journey to be able to connect with my community in such a way.
Yeah, Pepper, I know you've talked to the different county. How's your reception been with the county commissioners?
Well, some I get less response. I get some of them don't respond as well, but the ones that do, I'm just gonna give a shout out to Commissioner Steve Strohberger. He actually responds, and he's willing to have a conversation, and a few of us had a meeting with Mr. Steve Strohberger, and same goes for Mr. Lumen May. They're both of their aides are willing to communicate with the public. They're willing to help us to talk with the commissioners. So I feel that it's been great reception, specifically with those two, and it's been pretty quiet on the other fronts for the most part. I was very surprised this last Board of County Commissioners with what Mr. Berry was saying. I didn't think that he supported us at all because he'd been so quiet.
But you end up with unanimous support. It's the other thing I think was interesting, Pepper, in watching that meeting was that it started as being just a resolution, and y'all have gotten the commissioners now where they're actually looking. They've got the ordinance coming up tomorrow. Why do you think the ordinance is so important?
The ordinance is so important because if we can't get them to do a land development code change, which is the ideal protection for communities, we need something to protect us from these data centers. And the thing is that they're building all around, and everybody wants to protect themselves from it. So the more that do, and as they should, the more likely that they are to come in the places that aren't protected. So if we can't get a land development code, we need something. And maybe we can be a little creative too, because I'm reading about other communities that are getting a little creative rather than using megawattage as a way to choose the size of a band. They are requiring that data centers that are coming into communities do independent impact studies and pay for infrastructure upgrades before they even come in, which of course makes them not want to come in.
Right.
You know?
But it is, that impact studies are done on a lot of other environmentally sensitive issues in companies. And so that does make a certain amount of sense. It's been interesting, Pepper, to look around the state when you look at different counties. Santa Rosa County did a 1-year ban, a moratorium, but you're looking all over the state, more and more communities are in the same, the same boat that we are in believing that this is something that we need to take special attention to and try to define so it doesn't happen. I did find it interesting that Florida Power and Light and Duke Energy and Tampa Electric have formed their own little group, and I broke that story at the beginning of the week, and it's so something to watch for.
So glad that you wrote about that. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Yes, that was a shocker. The Florida Power and Light, they're robbing us. They have promised our bills to go down, and they've gone up 4 times, and we have nothing to show for it. And now they want to put data centers in, and they get money from that because data centers are huge power customers.
Yeah, it's something that you can look at in weekly. Well, on Rick's blog, it was beginning of the week. They're showing up at county commission meetings and saying how to build safe and better data centers and what they could do for a community. And the technology is not there yet. And I think that's the part that have a lot of us concerned. How do you think the meeting's going to go tomorrow? We've got about a minute left. How do you think the meeting's going to go tomorrow?
Well, I think that they will pass. I'm afraid they'll pass something, and I'm hoping that they'll pass something that makes sense for Pensacola, because 50 megawatts is we're never going to get a large-scale data center.
I know that's more than what the whole city of Pensacola uses.
So it's more than the whole city of Pensacola uses. So that's why we are talking to them about maybe defining AI, another creative outlet, rather than doing megawattage. The AI data centers are what we're trying to get rid of. So define AI and put that on there.
All right. It is the meeting on August 6th, which is Thursday. It starts at 5. Public forum starts at 4:30. It's on the agenda. City Council next week. I'm sure you'll be there too.
Absolutely.
Pepper, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes.
And you can follow you on Facebook. What's the best way to keep up with what you're working on?
So we've got a Facebook page called Gulf Coast Against Data Centers, and if you wanted to follow me, I'm Pepper McQuiffins on Facebook, McQuiffins, and you probably can follow me if you don't want to add me as a friend.
All right, Pepper, thank you so much. We'll take a break. We'll be right back, and I'll try to wrap all this up.
I learned during my military service, you train every day to fight and fight to win. If you've been injured in an accident, you already know one thing for sure. The insurance companies are going to fight you for every dollar you deserve. At Michelson Booth, we settle most of the cases we handle. But if the insurance companies choose to fight, well, we're okay with that too. If you've been injured in an accident, choose a law firm that's got the resources, training, and stomach for the fight. Michelson Booth. Don't be a victim twice.
I'm Andrea Housen, practice coordinator for Derek Jones Facial Plastic Surgery. Dr. Derek Jones is amazing. He's double board certified, he's skilled, and he's been doing this show with Blab TV for almost 2 decades. If you're looking to grow your business, Blab TV has an amazing reach in this local viewing area. We always hear, we saw you on Blab Television. I'm Andrea Housen with Derek Jones Facial Plastic Surgery, and I am Blab TV.
Gilmarine, your one-stop shop for all your boating needs. We offer a vast selection of parts, accessories, and electronics. Discover our range of used boats in every size, shape, and brand, all ready to get you on the water today. And we provide expert advice and top-notch customer service to ensure you have the best boating experience. We service all outboard, inboards, stern drives, jet drives, and personal watercraft. Our certified staff will get you back on the water. Visit Gilmarine at 3541 West Fairfield Drive, Pensacola.
I think we gave you your money's worth in this show. I'm Rick Housen. This is Rick's Blog Live. Please, if you're watching us on YouTube, like and subscribe. That helps us in a lot of different ways. But listen, it's been great to be a part of the Blab family. This is something that was we had kicked around for a while, and the response has been really, really great. Listen, we have got this show, a lot of great news. We had Michael Caro talk about the $41 million sale of the Florida Power and Light building. I still want to call it the Gulf Power building, One Energy Place, and he's almost got it all rented out. It's going to be an amazing business property. We had Keith Leonard, superintendent of schools. The passion of this leader for the school district is unbelievable. You can hear it in his voice. You can see the humility in which he leads. I'm excited about what's happening in the school district so far and where they're going to go from here. We had Robert Bender fill you in on early voting. It's not that hard. It's pretty simple. Have a picture ID, show up, sign, give them your signature, and you get a ballot. Go to our primary guide, inweekly.net, if you want to have any qualms about doing it or want to understand what's happening. You can go to it. You can also look at his website, ScambiaVotes.gov. Then we had Pepper Weimer, the data centers. The passion of the people that have been opposing this and fighting for the environment in our community covers a wide swath of people in our community from a wide variety of different backgrounds. Pepper is just one of the many voices that are speaking up against data centers. I wanted you to get to meet her too. Please follow us all the time. ricksblog.biz, inweekly.net. We don't color on the dog. We'll be back next week.